Oh, good morning, everybody. I like, oh, oh, just woke up. I'm out here with Chino. Chino's over there. And I don't know what I'm doing today. I had a thought to do this. I went to bed at, I think, 1 something. I woke up at like 7 something. And I actually slept like through the night, which was nice. Um, but yeah, I slept through the night. I was like, oh, that was nice. I wasn't up at like 4 in the morning randomly to watch the sunrise today. And like when I laid down to go to sleep, yeah, Chino's eating grass. When I laid down to go to sleep, I didn't necessarily expect to fall asleep in the position that I laid down in, and it happened. I was like, okay, I'm not complaining. The cards that came out, it's the Five of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles. We're just shuffling up today to see what wants to come out. I feel like it's very lively this morning. Why are you eating the grass? Chino wants to be a cow today. That's fine. And the environments are very similar. It feels like there's contention in a womb space or conflict. And it's almost, because of the way it's shaded, it's all, yeah, you can see it. You see like the darker green around it? It almost feels like a third eye. So like there's a third eye, there's a womb, and there's this force that this sword comes down with. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can kind of see it. It rivals these four. And then you can see like they all come together. Hey Steph, what's up? How are you? I slept last night, so I'm great. Bottom of the deck is the Queen of Swords. I feel like the King of Swords and the King of Pentacles have been sort of coming out together. And the Queen of Swords is with the King of Swords. Yeah. See, there's something about, where's my camera? There's something about this and like this. It's an energy of rising. Can you hear like all the birds? And like both of these queens are between mountains. And there was a card that came out recently, and it was in the valley. It feels like there's something that we're trying to nurture, something that we're trying to bring into the world, but we're experiencing a lot of difficulty in it. And it feels like this Queen of Swords is a perspective shift. It feels like the Queen of Swords is a little bit more logical. Not logical, not practical, analytical, and intellectual. Not intellectual in a way of like smarter than, intellectual in a way that like she intellectualizes more. And it feels like there's a certain level of intellectualism that the Queen of Swords isn't necessarily, the Queen of Pentacles isn't comfortable with. Because it feels like the Queen of Pentacles knows, but she almost doesn't have it within her to oppose whatever this is. But the Queen of Swords does. The neighbor's home. Y'all probably won't see their drive by. But that's what this feels like. For you? Chino's gonna start barking. And it feels like she doesn't necessarily fight either, but she doesn't tolerate. It's like she sees through this. I think the Queen of Pentacles does too, but she's like trying to be nice to everybody. And it's interesting because usually I get that more for the Queen of Cups. Usually the Queen of Cups is the one who nurtures and she cares and she provides, even if it's at detriment to herself. And the Queen of Pentacles is the one who's like, she does the same, but she doesn't do it to her detriment. And so maybe there's an energy here of like giving chances and needing to be even more just like, hey, Sage Insight. Okay, I need to put that deck on my wish list. I need to put that deck on my wish list because I like that deck. It's very, because I never know what the palaces mean. Is that the Spellcasters Tarot? Or the Dream Tarot stuff? And it's like, you don't have to cut anybody off. Like, the sword is pretty much down, but it's like, yeah, no, we're not doing this. And this could honestly be with self, right? Maybe it's time for a little tough love with self. Because again, it feels like there's something that we want to do. There's something that we want to bring in. It feels like we have a vision. We're just missing an edge. Tarot of Dreams. Okay, thank you. Really? Oh, thank you. I'll put it on when I get in my room. I left my phone inside. And yeah, like, it feels like the Queen of Swords is very understanding too. Like, instead of her just cutting, she's like actually listening. Maybe this is also like something that we want to do, but we can't necessarily make sense of how to do it. And I love that the King and the Queen of Swords are here. Because the King and the Queen of Swords, I feel like in their higher energies, they know the value of that which cannot be explained. I feel like the Queen and the King of Swords know when something is beyond them, and they can accept that. And so maybe in this Queen of Pentacles, it's like we're trying to do everything by ourselves. Maybe these are cooperative energies. Maybe these are opportunities coming in. Maybe these are gifts that we need to receive. Okay, yeah, it's a little shadow side of the Queen of Pentacles. Not necessarily, but it's feeling like she's like, no, I got to do it all myself. I have to create this myself. Hey, Bloomin' Rose, how you doing? It's like, I got to do it all myself. And so she prevents these other energies from helping. And it's that energy, like it takes a village to raise a child, right? And this is, it feels like an energy of someone who lives in a village. I can't monetize my channel yet, Steph. You have to have 1,000 subscribers and I think like 1,000 watch hours. And then after that, you can apply to be, or you can monetize your channel if you want. That's why I don't have it. Also, I think I'm at like 334 or something. Like, it's crazy. It's like it's more and more every day. Thank you. Thank y'all. 4,000 watch hours. There you go. Thank you, Sage Insight. 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers. And it doesn't feel like conflict here. And so now... No, you're fine, Steph. Like, I only know that because I had a friend who was, like, building his channel up. And then when he was doing that, like, he told me about it. And it was exciting. It was a fun journey. I enjoyed it. It feels like she's hailing... Oh, she's asking for help. She sees this King of Swords over here not doing anything, ready and available. And she's like, hey, like, can I get some help over here? And the Queen of Pentacles, you only have like 1,500. Oh, I didn't know you had a channel. I'll have to check you out, Sage Insight. Yes, she's like, because I feel like it's a very... It feels more Capricorn. And I was going to say that earlier. It feels very cardinal. Both of these, well, this is the Queen. So, you do light language activations. Nice. It feels like she's like, I got to do this. Like, I'm the only one that knows how to care for this. And again, like, it's her baby. So it makes sense that she feels this way. It's not anything against like the Queen of Pentacles, and she's not even necessarily in the wrong. It's just knowing when you need to ask for help. And I feel like if she can communicate her vision, then it's like she has the idea and someone else has like the know-how and the follow-through. Right, this could even be someone that the Queen of Pentacles is connected to, who is connected to more. So now this is like an Aquarian energy, because Aquarius is like 11th house connections and stuff like that, right? Networking, it's like Aquarian. So she doesn't have to do this alone. Maybe she knows that. That's why these swords are here. And again, like, oh, maybe she knows where to go, because this sword reminds me of the King of Swords with the sword pointed down. But in one, she's like not reaching out, and in the other one, she is. This is actually like pretty nice. Like, as soon as I saw the 5 of Swords, I was like, oh no. Chino, stop. Chino! Be nice. Don't bark at me. What else is there? And it feels like lots and lots of things are coming into the space of being. Lots of opportunities are going to be coming out as we shift and move forward into whatever we move forward into. And if there's something that you want but you're not comfortable with, it feels like you know somebody. And if you don't know somebody, it's an energy of start. And then you'll notice, or someone will find you. And be open and receptible. Receptible? Receptive. Ooh, that's a whole bunch of cards. That's a whole bunch of cards. I'll give this 3 more. If nothing comes out, we'll leave it there. Actually, I feel like I'll leave it here. The Lover's at the bottom of the deck. I feel like this is something that's mutually beneficial. And look, there's the 2 mountains again. And the valley. Something about that. Right? It's in like all of these. I actually like this energy. Because it's between extremes. But it feels like it's between extremes in a way like we've experienced one thing. Amanda, hey! I need to like... Nothing wrong with making up new words. Making up new words was my favorite thing about... was it rhetoric in high school? I would just like make up words. And I had a teacher who like, the words would make sense. And she would just like go with it. I was like, thank you. Because when Shakespeare does it, he celebrated. When I do it, that's not a word. I'm just playing. But there's this energy, it's like maybe we have experienced 2 extremes and it's about us balancing them out in the middle. Or maybe we've experienced one extreme and we're wanting to experience something else and we're like en route to that, like we're in between the 2. But it feels like on the way we find a different path. And so I've never necessarily felt so much flow between the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords. But they're air, so it makes sense. These are people you can trust with the vision. With the Lovers, the 8 of Swords, and Judgment. Yeah, what? If I look at the card, I don't see that eye. I don't see it. I can like barely see it. Right? But then when you get closer... Hold up, let's see. Can I focus this? I don't know if I can. Can you see it? There's an eye on this Judgment card. The last time I was outside, you could see it. Hey. All right, Amanda is so like... I love Amanda. You can't see the eye today. What? Okay, well, the eye isn't popping up today. See, it's the Lovers, the 8 of Swords, and Judgment. Again, 2 mountains, the valley in the middle. 2 mountains, the valley in the middle. 2 mountains, the valley in the middle. But I feel like you can see the extremes in duality with this 8 of Swords. And it's this like, see you later, Amanda. You have to seize the moment. I want to go to Ireland so bad. Where's Anne? Hi, Anne. Oh, Anne, hey. Yeah, and you can see like she's in between these 2, but it's this energy that we don't have to be. There's something balancing coming in here in a good way. And it also reminds me of what was coming out for the mutable signs. And I just thought about it yesterday because there was the card that was the camel that turned into the lion that turned into the child. And then there was the 5 of Wands with the trapeze artists, and there were 3 of them. And I was like, well, maybe you could be all 3. For mutable energy, it feels like you could be all 3. And so it's balancing the camel, the lion, and the child. That was for that. Hey, Inner Fire Priestess. Wait, I don't know if... Reem, good morning! Hey. It was you younger, wow. Okay, the people are starting to wake up. Well, some people are already up. I can smell cut grass. And it honestly, it feels like too, there's something that you've been doing that you may not have necessarily noticed. It feels like you've already been doing it. This feels like Venus and Mars in the sky. I just saw Venus. I sent a picture to, I don't know if I sent it to Rob. Well, I sent it to Reem. And then I was like, what is this? It's not twinkling. And then she was like, oh, ask Russ. And I asked Russ. And I thought about it. I was like, it doesn't look red. It was, I don't have my phone, so I can't show you. But I step outside. We were going to the store. I'm like always at the store. Oh, well, thank you for hopping over, Ann. I step out the door and I was just like, I never see any stars. I step out the door and literally, like, right above the house next to us is this big bright star. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, it's not twinkling, so it has to be a planet. And Venus and Mars are the only two planets, to my knowledge, that are close enough to, like, be that big in the sky. And I was like, it's not red, so it's probably Venus. And then Russ was like, it's Venus. And then there was a song on the radio. But anyway, this is feeling like a Venus-Mars energy. And I love that the king, and especially since they're typically the coldest and oddest. I think it was Venus. Stacy, is that your name, Sage? If I may call you Stacy. I think it was Venus. But I love that, like, the coldest couple in the deck typically is coming out very, like, warm and approachable, and like they've learned to talk to each other instead of screaming at one another. And it feels like that carries over here. And so there's this energy of like there's this energy of like what things are becoming or have become in some way, or what things have the potential to become. What things were. We'll go inside in a second. Over here, with the Queen of Pentacles, the Five of Swords, and the Eight of Swords, and then this Judgment in between. And it feels again like we're all coming into things that are like really, really, really beautiful. And it's almost this energy where it's like dynamics have already shifted, the planets have already moved. Like the conjunction between Mars and the conjunction between Mars and Venus already happened. I think that happened on like July 16. It happened like mid-July, right? And they're both in Virgo right now, so they'll be in the same sign for a minute before Venus picks up and then she leaves Mars behind, right? And again, it's like things have already shifted. We just may not see it yet. But we also have to give things the opportunity. So maybe that's for me in some way as well. There's already been a shift. There's already been a change. There's already been a transformation. We have to be open to receiving it. We have to reach out. Either we have to reach out or we have to be like willing to cooperate. We don't have to do everything on our own. Maybe some of the things coming in are going to be a little bigger than us in a way that they're meant to affect a lot of people. But have you ever seen this deck before, Steph? Let's see. Because that reminds me more of, and especially since, oh well, it reminds me of this, of the Hermit card in this deck. And you said Virgo in the house, and it's literally the Hermit. So it feels like this is like the self side, and then judgment is when you meet others who have also done the same. Right? Hey! Like when they've both done this reflection, then they can meet in the valley of judgment and they can go somewhere new. So yeah, there's that reflection in the mirror for the Virgo. And that's why things are different. That's why things have changed. Because they're both meeting in the middle. Right? They're both in this valley in between. Everything is in the valley in between. And not every card is like that in this deck. Right? Well, because I was going to say, look at this Knight of Cups, but the Knight of Cups is like that too. Yeah. And it's the Portal of Mirrors. It reminds me of the Portal of Mirrors too. It's the Mystic Mondays Tarot. This deck was like, it's not hard for me to connect to, but I feel like it doesn't always speak to me. And I was using it outside and I lost cards, so that's why it's my outside deck. Because if I lose any more cards, then I'd rather it be from a deck that's already missing cards. So. But I've never felt limited by the cards that aren't here. So. But yeah. Eve, hey. Good morning. Oof, more people are up. Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that's like, that's where like groups thrive. And as more and more and more people come into the space of addressing themselves, of that reflection and healing and balancing out within themselves, they'll be able to maintain that balance with more people. And when we can get a collective of like balanced people who are standing in their authenticity, then it's like a think tank, right? Where we can all share freely and no one is like, oh, like I don't want to be called dumb or stupid or laughed at because my idea isn't great enough. Like I went to Purdue, right? And it's like this College of Engineering superiority over everybody else. And even within the College of Engineering, it's like this engineer is better than that engineer, is better than the other one. And so I was an RA one year and I sat in on group interviews and they were tasked with building a tower. And everyone in the group like wants to show off. And so they're like, oh, let's do this, let's do this. And for a minute, they weren't doing anything. And the one person, she wasn't the only non-engineer, but she was like, I'm not an engineer, so like I'm not as smart as you guys, but why don't we just build what's on the box? And I was like, that is such like an ingenious idea. Like I didn't think of it, nobody else thought of it, but like the example of what to do was literally right there. And it's like, hey, stop it. And it's like, you don't have to, it's like, you know, don't be afraid to share. And there is going to be a point in time where you're coming out of it. So like, don't be hard on yourself if it is a little, like if you get nervous or something like that, because it's something that we grow into. But some of the best ideas come from some of the people that feel the least qualified sometimes. It's like when a child points out something and it's like, oh, like here we were overcomplicating it, but the solution was actually extremely simple. And then the Three of Cups is here to end it off with that card of community. Right? And we all have a voice, we all have a say, we all have something to contribute. And the bottom of the deck is the Six of Cups. And I feel like, honestly, it's that mirroring again. When like you do that balance within you between your light, dark, and inner child, and you meet with others who have done that balance within them, we can meet in greater ways. And I love that like there are two mountains and then this higher one in the middle. This is also very 8-8 feeling. It feels like when Sirius and the other stars line up over the pyramids. Get down. Ooh. Alright, let me see. I feel like the card readings are all alike in synchronicity, even when you're doing your own for the collective. Yeah. And I feel like it's really collapsing on these choice points too. And it's on like the things that we want to do. It's like it's time for us to choose and decide for ourselves without any limitation. And to do that, sometimes there are things that we need to face in order to give ourselves that opportunity. To speak up, to say something, to show up in the first place, to be present, to allow someone else the chance to speak. Because the people who talk the most, like when you're in a group setting and when the whole thing is about observing how you function in a team, I feel like a lot of people are like, I need to shine, I need to stand out, I need to do this. But it's like more than any of that, you need to be a team player. And if you're always talking and you're never listening, then it on a team setting, it doesn't look that great. Because we're not asking for the next president, CEO, leader of whatever. We're looking for team players here, not leaders or whatever. And it's not that you can't lead when it's your time, but it's about that cooperation. Because if the people in your team don't feel that their input is like valued or appreciated or respected, then they're not going to come to you. And it's like an all hands on deck situation. And so people need to feel comfortable coming forward too. So yeah, very Six of Pentacles into a Wheel of Fortune into a Sun card, but I already put the cards away and I'm gonna shut this down. 32-23. So that's what I got. My hand is starting to get a little itchy. The cut grass smell is gonna start triggering my allergies here in a minute. So I will catch you all later. Thank you so much for coming in. Reem, Eve, Stacy, Steph, and then Amanda and Ann. It's been lovely. And yeah, this is I'm excited. I also need to step up and just do it like Shia LaBeouf, right? So anyway, I hope you all have a good whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. And I hope that whatever you need along your journey, along your way, along your path, you find. Be it wise counsel, be it a day off, be it some time to like think, be it comfort and condolences, whatever. I hope you find it. And I'll catch y'all later. Bye.